are too much or are too little? 40,000 registered churches around the country.
I can go? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
No, I think those are too little.
40,000?
Yes, those are too little.
Yeah.
A research was done in Nairobi a few years ago that actually was shocking to those of us who are in church ministry, conducted by one of the universities here. The research revealed that it's only 16% of Nairobi that attends church on any Sunday morning.
Okay.
Kenya claims to be, according to our last census, is 86% Christian. Just last week, we launched a youth report, a Barnes Research youth report, that revealed among age 13 to age 17, they are 91% Christian. Age 13 to age 17 in Kenya.
Okay.
And now, very, very interesting statistics. But what the statistic in Nairobi also showed, that actually Nairobi needed 2,000 churches every year.
Wow. Nairobi alone.
2,000 new churches every year. So we are not there.
Yet the number of people attending the churches are
16%
only.
So it means that the other 84% still needs to be charged. They are church people.
What was the reason they don't have churches to go to?
Some are secularized, some have not been reached, some are people of other faiths, some don't go to church.
So it's not necessarily about the availability of a church for them?
No, it's just that...
Was that one of the reasons in that research?
Church needs to be closer to people.
Yes.
So the more you bring the church closer to people, the more accessible it becomes to people.
Actually, it just translates into... Recently, we've been seeing a lot of restaurants and bars. Let me talk about bars. Drinking joints, wines and spirits. A lot of them are coming up. Even in a place you don't expect one to be, you find one is open there. And you'll not find it empty at any time. They are full. We need churches still, because a bigger percentage of Kenyans are still unchurched. Just like Bishop says, church needs to go closer to people, and therefore there is need to open more churches. Just like the opening of bars and restaurants is going on, and you never find them empty. They are full and they are still opening.
Even if the churches were there. Okay. All right, interesting. Someone else wants to...
Yeah, I want to say something about that. Because of my experience. You see, sorry to say, I'm talking about crowd of spirit, why pastor, you know. My experience here is really, really interesting. 85% of our members in the crowd spirit were ex-church members, people who stopped going to church. Here in Nairobi, they stopped going to church.
Now they're back?
They are back. And if you hear their stories,
why they stopped going to
left.
church? Yes.
Some were raped, some they stole their properties, some they lied to them, false prophecies. Then some said there's no God, because if I follow this pastor and he now did this to me, there's no Christ.
Okay.
You get my point? So that aspect must be identified, because if you look at it, I don't actually believe distance. Me, I used to travel 9 hours from Abuja to Lagos to go and worship in the church, because in Abuja I can't find what was feeding me spiritually. If you are hungry for God and you go to a church and they give you games, you won't go again. You stay at home.
Okay.
So I believe if apostolic churches emerge, not by title, just the sound word. Kenya, one thing I know about Kenyans love God. What most of us pastors don't realize is that Kenyans don't want magic. They don't want all this nonsense. They want truth.
Really good. Okay. I'd like to talk about regulation, because I think these have been captured. Unless you want to talk about 50 million versus